Hi Capricorns, welcome to your September 2017 reading. I hope you all are doing well and that you had a good August. So let's go ahead and get right into the reading. Let's see what's going on for Capricorn for September 2017. Capricorn, September 2017. The Hanged Man. Which to me makes a lot of sense because we're going to have, sorry, this table's a little bit unstable, so there's going to be some rocking back and forth. So we have the Hanged Man here, and to me the Hanged Man, yes, can represent, you know, feeling like you're sort of in this suspended sort of motion, like you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, but it's because at the time being, stillness is needed in order to kind of gain a different perspective, right? And so there's going to be a lot of activity happening in your ninth house, which is your house of higher learning, your house of enlightenment, your house of spiritual development, spiritual practice, your house of, you know, thinking about the future and what needs to happen for the future. And so I think a lot of you are in this space of feeling like very reflective and very sort of like you're kind of in this purgatory, you know, in between type space of, you know, do I move forward? Do I not move forward? Do I just sit still right now? So we're going to have Mars in that house. And so, you know, while there might be, you know, while Mars is very action oriented, the ninth house represents to me also this time of reflecting, this time of really, you know, taking the time to think about, you know, where you are at in terms of whatever it is you want to become enlightened about, or like where are you at with your spiritual practice. So it's more so that there's a lot of motion. There's a lot of activity going on in your house of higher learning and spiritual development and the way that you philosophically sort of digest things and what you sort of feel about the future. So general energy, I feel, was good energy. The Hanged Man for me definitely represents positive. It's a positive card for me, right? It's a card of seeing things through a different perspective. One second, I'm going to try and adjust this table so it stops rocking back and forth. Okay, much better. Table's not moving so much. All right, so let's see what else is coming up for Capricorn for September 2017. Queen of Wands. And a lot of the people that I know right now, a lot of my Capricorn friends and people that I know who are Capricorns are struggling right now, especially when it comes to relationships and responsibility to those relationships. And I specifically mean romantic relationships is what I'm really sort of getting at right now. Responsibility to romantic relationships. And so, you know, Queen of Wands, is this a partner? You know, is this a fire sign, a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius, or is this somebody in your life who holds a very special place and holds a lot of power? And the Queen of Wands, not only does she hold power, but she's very charismatic. And she's very good at, you know, getting her way, regardless of whether, you know, her way is for the benefit of herself or for everybody, right? So the Queen of Wands, as, you know, as warm and welcoming and friendly as she can be, she's also, you know, think of fire signs, right? Also very, very, you know, hell-bent on making sure that they get their way or that their will is seen through to the end. So, you know, are you dealing with a partner, a fiery partner, a fire sign partner, or just a partner that holds a lot of power and persuasion in your life, right? A partner that, you know, things may not be so balanced at the moment. So let's continue to see what's going on. And I as I was kind of briefly going over the astrology for Capricorn, something was like, let's do like a love focused, or let's really try and tease out what's happening romantically for a lot of Capricorns, especially because y'all have Pluto in Capricorn right now, which I think is really just, it's just really just messing with you all a lot right now. So let's see what else is coming up for Capricorn for September 2017. That's too much. Strength card. Yeah, so strength is needed in a relationship. You're reaching a point where standing up for yourself or standing up for yourself is sort of needed right now when it comes to your relationships. Let's see. So this is what I have so far. You know, let's see what else is, you know, and the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom. And I think this really relates to me about that Pluto and Capricorn energy of there's a lot of work. Pluto intends to destroy in order to rebuild. Pluto doesn't just destroy for the sake of destroying. That's Pluto when it's in its lowest energy, right? It's just going around destroying things just for the sake of destroying things so that it can feel powerful because it feels so disempowered. But when we have, you know, Pluto that's well aspected or a Pluto that's, you know, operating in its highest energies or its, you know, higher energies, it's destroying in order to rebuild. It's destroying in order to, you know, create anew and learn from that which was previously destroyed, right? So let's kind of get into what we have so far. And I'm going to continue pulling, but the cards are not really wanting to pull anything else right now. So Hanged Man, Queen of Wands. As I said before, you know, I'm definitely feeling that this is somebody prominent in your life. You know, kings and queens of the suit cards can be very prominent figures in our lives. And they're also sort of masters of swords, right? Like this is not a page, this is not a knight, this is not a princess, this is a queen. So this is somebody who is very comfortable in their fieriness, in their fiery energy. But like I said before, they also could very well be somebody who in your life is not really possibly a love interest who holds a lot of power, who holds a lot of persuasion and influence over you and sort of what you do or how you feel. And there's definitely a reflection over this that's occurring. I think that there's definitely a period of not really doing anything regarding this person. Not really. There's a break that's being taken from whoever this person might be, right? From this person who has impacted you greatly. There's sort of a break happening, or even if you're not taking a physical break, there is definitely space that's being created for you right now mentally where you're being able to see things differently about your relationship to this person. So whatever the relationship you have to this person is, you're definitely in a period of reflecting on it, and you're gaining, their strength is needed. And strength is being developed, right? The strength card, you know, we have this woman here and this is the card of Leo, right? So again, you know, fire meets fire, right? In order to really combat whatever fieriness, right? And whatever overbearing, right? Because fire can be overbearing. Fire energies, when they kind of are uncontained or go unchecked, they can be a bit overbearing to the people around them, right? And I love you, fire signs. If there are fire signs that are watching this for a Capricorn in their lives, like, you know, fire signs are great, very warm, but if gone unchecked, like I said before, can be a bit overwhelming, and cannot see beyond, you know, the density of their own flames, right? So strength is needed. This Leo card, this Leo power energy is needed in order to kind of take the reins back. And I'm trying to think where the solar and the lunar eclipse happened for y'all in August, because, you know, I've said this in all the other videos that I've done thus far, but we can't, you know, the eclipses just didn't just happen and now we're over it and we're in September. There were lessons and there were really important takeaways from those astrological moments in our individual charts and in our general, right, like Capricorn charts, right? So, what were the lessons? What needed to be taken away for you all? And so what was going on? So Capricorn is in your first house. Means Aquarius is in your, is that right? Was that right? Capricorn. Sorry, guys. Capricorn. Aquarius is in your second. So you had the eclipses were occurring between your second and your eighth house, right? So that Leo new moon, there was a new beginning, right, in your eighth house, in that house of merging, in that house of, you know, other people's resources. And so quite possibly, you know, when it comes to romantic relationships, because the eighth house also talks about how we merge with our partners, our romantic partners, our loved ones, right? So there was a new beginning in that eighth house field, right? There was a new beginning, there was a new awakening, you know, regarding, you know, what are things that are occurring in my eighth house, that are occurring subconsciously, that are occurring underneath the surface that cannot be seen, right? How is Pluto, right? And again, going back to that Pluto energy of really working with you all to kind of break down what isn't working for you and to rebuild that which will work for you. And so when it comes to your relationships, what new beginnings, what new ways of thinking about, you know, how are you merging with this person, right? So I think strength is definitely being developed for you all. I think you all are definitely, you know, stepping up to the lessons. And the thing with Capricorn is because you all are ruled by Saturn, you're very good. You're extremely, you know, well equipped at handling the lessons and at learning the lessons and at taking them on, right? It's a very comfortable placement for Saturn, right? It's a very comfortable placement when it comes to learning really difficult lessons. Capricorns just get it. Capricorns are like, yeah, hard work requires sacrifice. Hard work requires strength and endurance. Hard work requires that, you know, I be somewhat cautious too about what I approach, right? And so now we have this Knight of Swords here. And, you know, the Knight of Swords, I feel like it definitely represents an energy that at first I was definitely feeling like this Knight of Swords really feels like, you know, this is what Capricorns are kind of taking on. I also feel that this is somebody, this could be the same Queen of Wands, right? Or like, now this Queen of Wands has this energy of the Knight of Swords as they're sort of rushing back to you. I see them kind of coming for you to a certain extent, but I want to get more clarity because, you know, there isn't a lot of information thus far, but I want to find out more about this Knight of Swords. Who is this Knight of Swords and why are they here? Let me clarify this Knight of Swords. Let me clarify this Knight of Swords. Okay. So we have the Three of Pentacles here as a clarifier for this Knight of Swords. And so I definitely do feel that this is you. And I feel that this to me really speaks to, you know, Mars is going to be in your ninth house. And we're also going to have Mercury, which is going to be going direct on the 5th. And I'm shooting this on the 4th, so tomorrow Mercury is going direct, right? Or is at least stationing direct. I'm not too familiar with the different station, moving direct, like all of that. But I know that Mercury is coming out of its retrograde season for this past 3 weeks. And it's going to be moving, Mercury's going to be moving now back into your ninth house to conjunct Mars, right? So now we're going to have this Mars conjunct Mercury, right? Which in your ninth house, which really, you know, to me, when I see Mars conjunct Mercury, there is a strong relationship between, you know, what it is that you are trying to do and actively create in the world and assert into the world, and how you are going about, and like communication being a big part of that. Writing, journalism, writing projects, you know, communicating what you are trying to do is a big deal, and setting a foundation, right? And this Three of Pentacles for me represents the building blocks, right? The building of new things, the setting of a concrete foundation. And I mean, I always say this: if you want a good solid foundation, fuck with an earth sign, right? If you want a good solid foundation from which to build upon, you talk to an earth sign, you talk to a Taurus, a Virgo, especially a Capricorn, especially a Virgo, right? Like, if you want things to be planned out and you want to see things come to fruition, you know, an earth sign is who you really need to speak to. But, you know, this Knight of Swords, I see this as this Mercury and Mars energy. And I see you all after a period, right, of being really reflective and also having a lot of things on your mind regarding a relationship, regarding, you know, I think this also represents you trying to approach relationships issues in a practical manner, trying to approach, you know, trying to approach the object of your affection, and that also makes a lot of sense, because we're having this Pisces, this new moon, the full moon in Pisces is occurring in your third house. And so Pisces representing, you know, the illusions, the delusions the lies that we tell ourselves, right? The deceit that we can tell ourselves, and having that as a full moon, and like something coming to a close, something coming to an end in that third house of communication. Things coming to a culmination in that third house. And, you know, with that Pisces energy in that full moon space of like, okay, what delusions, what illusions, what lies am I telling myself, or am I communicating to others, and what needs to be brought to an end, right? So I'm definitely seeing you, right, coming to some realizations, right? Coming, you know, utilizing that Virgo energy, and then having the new moon in Virgo coming on September 19th, right? And so that occurring in your ninth house. So there is this transition from this sort of delusional way of thinking about your relationships, right? And way of communicating within your relationships, right? There's something that you've been communicating in your you have not been clear. And you've also been very cautious about how you're communicating in your relationships. And the full moon in Pisces, right, that ending, that ending that's coming through in your third house is really asking you, no, be more practical. Say exactly what you mean, and mean exactly what you say. And don't mince words. Say whatever, like, strength was needed in order for you to communicate what you need to communicate to this person. I feel like there's something that needs to be said to whoever this fire energy, this fire sign, this fiery person, this prominent person is. There's been, you know, a lack of honest communication between you and that person. And there's been a lot of worrying about, you know, what'll happen if I communicate that to this person. Is this person going to be upset with me or mad with me? But let's see what else is gonna come up for Capricorn for the rest of the month, because I feel like the picture's still kind of incomplete. Okay, so we have, yeah, 7 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands. That kind of manipulated its way out of my hand. Let's see what else is going to come up. I hope I'm making sense to you all. I'm going to try and tie this all in together. But I'm definitely sensing this feeling feeling extremely cautious. Weighing out your options. Weighing out like, oh, well, some form of communication, some form of very practical communication is needed. And that makes sense because there's a lot of activity happening in your third and ninth house. And we have this Pisces energy in your third house, which needs to be dissipated. It needs to come to an end. There needs to be a very direct, a very direct conversation that needs to occur between you and whoever this person is. And I really feel like this is a lover. This is definitely a romantic partner. Somebody who, you know, like I said before, is very good at getting their way. And, you know, and being a Capricorn, you all, you know, you are legacy builders, you are dynasty builders, and you do so for the sake of other people. There is this self-sacrifice kind of aspect, right, that carries on from Virgo that goes into Capricorn, right? All the signs build upon each other, especially within the elements. And so, you know, you have a Capricorn that's also very much about, you know, being responsible in the name of other people, like having responsibility towards other people. And in your relationships, right, there can be this tendency to, yes, like to want to give and to be, you know, that partner for your partners, right? And in that sense of sort of extreme sort of martyr responsibility to your partner, right? This sort of, you know, I would do anything for my partner. I would, you know, be the martyr for my partner because I am responsible to the people in my life, right? That, in a sense, can sort of create these mounting problems, or you not having a proper outlet for how you communicate your own needs and what it is that you need, right? And so I definitely feel that with the Seven of Pentacles, I'm seeing a lot of you being very, very sort of apprehensive, and Capricorn is notoriously cautious, right? But I see you all being very cautious and being very apprehensive about, well, how do I speak to this person? What will happen when I speak to this person, right? Will there be more that I'm going to have to burden? Will there be more, you know, and will there be more responsibility that I will have to bear in the name of sort of keeping this person in my life, or keeping this person in the way that I want to keep them, or keeping this person around, right? For whatever reason, there is this desire to keep this person around. But it's taking great strength for you. Great strength and great endurance for you to finally get to a point of feeling like there's something that I need to communicate to this person, and I can no longer hold off on communicating, right? The Knight of Swords is not cautious. The Knight of Swords gives zero fucks about what anybody here thinks about what he has to say, which can be dangerous, but for, you know, Capricorns, sometimes that could be a good thing, because I feel, you know, I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart, and Capricorn, you know, in my first house, even though I'm a Sag rising, I have a strange chart, right? But I have Capricorn in my first house, and so I have a lot of Capricorn energy, and so I feel the way that I approach life and the way that I assert myself is very cautious from time to time, right? Can be very cautious to the point where I end up sort of being here, or actually more or less being here, right? Because I'm so overthinking, you know, well, if I do this or if I say this, how is that going to affect the people that I care about in my life? When in reality, like, this person is incredibly strong and can take care of themselves, right? They're also next to the Strength card. So they have the capacity to take whatever you have to say to them. They can take it, right? I think it's you that's creating the burdens in your own mind about what this communication, right? And I think there's this fear that if I do this, right, then I'm going to have an even heavier load to bear. But let's see. I want to get more info. What other messages do we have for Capricorn for September 2017? Practical communication. Yeah. Ten of Cups. A lot of signs have been getting the Ten of Cups for their readings. And I think there is definitely a lot of rethinking and reflecting on what you hold to be, like, what does fulfillment, emotional fulfillment look like for you, and what does emotional abundance look like for you, right? And so now we have this Lovers card and the Ace of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. And so, you know, the Lovers card for me, it definitely represents that, you know, whatever is happening between you and your partner, there are angels, there are spirits, there are, you know, the universe has got it under control. The universe knows the universe has got it, right? And sometimes, you know, when we have earth signs, especially Capricorns, and the higher evolved signs within the elements, like, you know, Aquarius and Capricorn and Sagittarius, right? There can be this tendency to feel that we know everything. We have all the answers. I feel like I'm missing. And Pisces, right? So, right, that we know everything, or that we have to bear a lot, right? Being Capricorn, being the highest evolved earth sign, right? And being that legacy builder, being that we have to bear so much. But whatever relationship you are sort of wondering about, or whatever, you know, there's a universal, you know, these lovers here, we have this angel looking down upon them. There's divine timing, right? There is a divine plan, there's a divine format for how this relationship needs to work out, but it can't work out unless, you know, if you're constantly holding back and not communicating and ruminating over all the possible options, right, that can occur if we do the things that we, you know, think about doing, right, then we're never really gonna, like, this Knight of Swords isn't going to go anywhere, and this energy gets wasted, because this can be really great energy for really, especially having Mercury, you know, working with Mars, right? Like, utilizing that forward motion, utilizing that energy that is backing up your ability to communicate, and communicate strongly right now, and to communicate what it is that you've been reflecting on in that 9th house, right? We have Mars, Mercury conjunct in your 9th house. So really utilizing that forward motion, that Mars asserting energy, you know, when it comes to communication, that Mercury energy of what it is that you need to say to people, and what you have to say has to do with what you've been coming to realize regarding, you know, how you're understanding things differently and on a different level. It's a different level of understanding. You know, it's not just taking the information, it's taking the information and dissecting it to a way that you can apply it to your personal relationships, right? So whatever, you know, you've come to realize about your ideals regarding love, regarding relationships, that, you know what, you know, I'm in these, I have this relationship and it's not working for me, and it's not working for me for these reasons. Well, you get to actually express that. You get to express that, you know? There's higher knowledge that's occurring around and regarding your ideas regarding relationships. I'm definitely getting that. And that communication just needs to be very practical, right? Remove that Pisces delusional, illusional, deceitful energy from it, and just communicate from the ground up. Communicate in a very practical way that speaks to how it's affecting you on a day-to-day basis. I want to get some clarification for this Lovers, though. Can I get some more information about why the Lovers are here? Page of Wands. So yeah, communicate I feel that if you were to actually communicate with whoever this person is, whoever this lover is, I feel that things are going to be, I feel like things are going to be fine. Page of Wands for me is a good message, right? It's a good message. It's a great messenger, right? The Page of Wands bears really positive messages regarding creativity, regarding, you know, children, romance, right? It's a fire energy. It has to do with, you know, 5th house, 1st house, 9th house energy. So yeah, again, communicating the new information that's been gathered in that ninth house, the new information that's been gathered regarding how you feel about your partner or your relationship. And I think that it'll be a good conversation. It's in the beginning stages, right? But it's not going to be like what you think it's going to be. It's not going to be this overbearing weight, right? It's going to be this very lighthearted, interaction with this person. And I think that in that interaction, there's going to be a new opportunity, a new solid, right? It's like you have these pentacles and these wands here that feel very sort of overbearing and very sort of meticulous. And yes, we're in Virgo season, so it's time to sort of be meticulous and to work really hard and to overthink, right? But Capricorns, y'all do that on a day-to-day basis, right? So take a break from it, right? So, there are new opportunities. You have done your work with the harvest, right? Now, just go forward in faith that if you were to actually communicate with this person, with this Queen of Wands here, that, things could actually turn around for you. There could be a change in how things have been going between you and this person. I definitely see that happening. So I see new opportunities between you and this person. I see this Ace of Pentacles being very promising. I'm not seeing any really sad cards. I'm not seeing, a Three of Swords. I'm not seeing a Five of Wands. I'm not seeing a Seven of Swords or, even a Six of Swords, which implies that you have to leave in order to gain, some rest, right, and reconsideration. But I'm seeing some really beautiful things happening here between you and this person in your commitment, in your decision to finally communicate with them. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to communicate to whoever this person is. You have a lot to say. You have a lot of really important things to say. And just utilizing that Pisces full moon energy to really close out and to really end any of the confusing ways that you have been communicating thus far. If you have been confusing in how you've been communicating to other people, especially when it comes to your romantic relationships and even family, cut it out. Cut that out, and pick up on that new moon and Virgo energy in your ninth house, which is really going to allow you to really dissect and really utilize in the practical world the philosophical things that you've been learning about yourself and your relationships, right? Virgo is about practicality. Virgo wants to take whatever you are learning or coming to realize in your ninth house and wants to take that and use it practically in the real world in your relationship. So don't just do what you don't hold back about what you have to talk about to this person. So can I get an outcome card for Capricorn for September 2017? Get an outcome card. Sorry for all the shuffling. Just like to let them pop out on their own. Okay, Two of Wands, forward motion. I see, yes, there can still be something holding us back, always, right? But don't be consumed by either, right? Just continue to look forward. Continue to believe, right, that all possibilities are possible, right? When I take that first step forward, this person has no idea what the hell is going to happen once he steps forward and over that ledge, right? With that wand and that world in hand. But he has ultimate faith that it will be okay. Ultimate faith. So again, instead of, and again, that Pisces and full moon, having faith, ultimately believe and have ultimate faith in what it is that you're trying to communicate about. And just ignore, right? Like, yes, acknowledge that there are things that are still behind you, that there are apprehensions behind you, but do not be, like, he's not looking at this wand. He doesn't care. He knows it's there, but he's not really allowing it to bother him. He still is like, you know what? This is here, but I can still move forward, right? Like, you know, doing something, courage isn't having no fear about doing something. It's doing something in the face of fear. It's doing something in the face of apprehension. It's doing something in the face of not knowing what's going to happen at the other end of that action, right? But doing it anyway. And that's what courage really is. So my advice to you all this month is just be courageous. And, you know, you all have it. It's just, I understand Capricorns can be a bit cautious from time to time because we want to think, we want to know, we want to have everything, we want to know all the results of what's going to happen, right? But it's okay. Y'all got it. And if you, so that's your reading for September. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, you can email me at tattoosandtarot@gmail.com. Or you can go to tattoosandtarot.com and click on the reading section, but I'm having my website redone at the moment, so it's probably best to just email me at tattoosandtarot@gmail.com if you want a reading. And also, if you've already purchased a reading from me, great, thank you, but please be sure to send me an email to confirm at tattoosandtarot@gmail.com, because PayPal will not allow me to contact buyers. So you have to be the one to contact me. So if you purchased a reading and haven't heard from me, it's because I cannot get a hold of you because I do not provide any of your contact info on the purchase receipt. So again, if you've bought a reading from me recently, please send me an email so we can set an actual time and date to do the reading. And I will see you all in October. All right, bye Capricorns.